Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our new guest, Lee Newman. We're here to break down Sissonne and everything in between. Lee, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today?
Doing great tonight. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We have our good friend Ichthus over on YouTube stopping in to say what is up. Welcome to the stream, Ichthus. It's always a pleasure to see you. So, Lee, holy crap, this issue is awesome. I don't know exactly what all we're allowed to talk about, but I had the opportunity to read issue 1. It was fantastic. We're here to talk about some new variant covers that you are crowdfunding on Crowdfunder in order to kind of raise some money and awareness for the Trevor's project. So before we dive too deep into that, let's start with the basics. Let's start with who you are and how you got into creating comics.
All right. My name is Lee Newman. I've been creating comics in some fashion or another since I was in college in the early 2000s. So it's been a little while. I started with like a gag a day 4-panel strip that I did with a friend of mine, and ended up doing a couple indie books with some friends, and that brought me to where I am now with Sissonne, my kind of breakout book that's actually all me.
So what was some of those earlier works like? The Gag a Day comics, you know, those tend to be kind of their own structure within themselves, correct?
Yeah, like when I first started doing those, I was very influenced by people like Frank Cho with like Liberty Meadows, and even before that he did University Squared, which is what got me wanting to do Gag a Day comics like that. And I enjoyed writing humor stuff, and then I joined a group of people who were doing some indie books, and I did a book called No Rest for the Wicked, which was a superhero book, well, supervillain book, about a group of terrible supervillains who have a roommate that's just a guy. So he just lives with these like F-list supervillains, and we're actually planning on rebooting that. Oh yeah. They call him the Keg. Like he's like, I don't want a superhero name, and they're like, you're the Keg. And he's like, no, I don't need a name. So he's just like there because rent's expensive.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to reboot that into the Sissonneverse later. So, but yeah, those were some of my earliest forays into books, and then I helped edit and produce the other ones.
Was that kind of any inspiration for Sissonne? Like, because Mark is kind of not that good of a superhero, right? He's kind of a bottom tier hero himself.
I love the idea of just a guy. Like, I mean, like that's to me, that's the quintessential joke is I'm just, because everyone can relate to, I'm just a person trying to do a thing. So that's where a lot of the humor is for me, especially in a book like Sissonne, where he wants to be a good superhero, but his power, some people might say, I think it's fantastic, but some people might say it's a little lame to be a ballet dancing crime fighter with indestructible feet. But that's what he's got to work with. So that's what he does. That's how he uses his power. So I love the everyman. Like I'm a big Spider-Man fan. So that's where a lot of my inspiration comes from, and probably where like the quippy stuff comes from too, is just, I like the idea of somebody trying their best, being self-aware enough to crack jokes and things like that. So there is a lot. It was definitely an evolutionary process for my older books or projects to where I am now.
That is awesome. We have some hype in the chat. We have Kamorian King throwing some hearts, and we have Issues saying this sounds amazing. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic night as well. And real quick, everyone that is watching, right here is the link to the campaign we're going to be talking from Crowdfunder right here. Be sure to check this out. It is for 2 new variant covers for a great cause as well. So this is issue 1 of a 3-issue miniseries, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, 3, but we may stretch it to 4. I'm writing the 2nd issue now, and I had most of the story bullet pointed out already, so we kind of knew where it was going to go. But that first issue was always written as, because comics are always a gamble. And so we wrote that first issue as, if this is the only thing that there ever is, then it's kind of a one-shot that's open-ended. But since the first issue took off pretty well, we're going to go ahead and just try and finish the whole story. So I got the whole team back together, because there was actually a 4-year hiatus from the first time we tried on Kickstarter and it didn't go through, to the one that we did last year where we did manage to fund. So I told everyone, I was like, hey guys, we made a comic book. So everybody is on board to get back in it, and everyone's very excited. So it's very cool to be able to bring the whole team back together to do the new issues.
We have a Kamorian King saying back it, y'all. Absolutely, yes. Back this. For every single issue sold, $2 is getting donated to the Trevor project, and then for every bundle, $10. Correct?
Yeah, it's for the qualifying covers. So we were doing what we call cheesecake for charity. So one of the things I kind of poke at a lot is a rampant thing in indie comics, and no shade here because what sells sells, but there are a lot of kind of what we call cheesecake covers, which is various sort of titillating, scandalous covers. So I was like, well, my guy can do that. So we put Sissonne in his tidy purplies eating pizza on the bed. And we're doing those, if you buy any of those related covers. So we have one with the logo on it, we have one with no logo on it, and then we have a bundle that includes the covers. So any purchase of those bundles with the qualifying covers, portions of that do go to the Trevor Project.
And Mark is thick, so do not miss out on those. We'll be taking a larger look at those in just a little bit. We have issues, 60 issues, and a TV shows. You got some big shoes to fill there, Lee. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit more about issue 1 and the creative team involved. So who all is doing this with you?
Okay, so we've got Ronaldo Lacey is our illustrator, and then we have Steve Cannon, who's our colorist, and Brian Cole, who edits and helped me write the first issue. It was actually Brian who came to me to do the book work for hire, so I didn't initially own the rights to this book. Brian and I had been friends, and he's like, hey, I really like the kind of stuff that you write. I know you've got a good wit. I want to write a story for a hero that has kind of, in his words, Elaine power. And I want him to be in this kind of tick adjacent universe. So like, I mean, we both were real big fans of that kind of stuff. And so he came to me and kind of gave me the reins. He's like, hey, listen, I'm going to own it, but I want you to write it. Go find the team. Go find people that you like. So we kind of sorted everybody out. I think Greg Dang, who does the lettering, I believe he found. But Steve I had brought in because he and I had worked on a previous project together. And he had found Ray, I believe, to do the art. And so we did the book. And the way that we actually got to what you see now that I'm promoting is it lapsed 4 years. We tried really hard. We knew the book was good, but it just kind of couldn't make it off the ground. And I went to Brian and said, hey man, can I buy those rights off of you? Because I really think this book has got something. I really think we can do something with it. So we worked out an arrangement. I got the money together. I gave him the money. And so Sissonne is mine, but I kept Brian on because he's a good friend of mine, because he's a great editor and he's great to bounce ideas off of. Yeah. So we basically just shift the ownership, and I gave it one more shot. So it's basically, we got the band back together. Like everyone loves that, right? We got the band back together and did the thing. So what do you think, what did you do differently the second time around when you were funding it? And had it be successful, the second time around, what do you think you did differently? It's always like any crowdfunding thing is weird. It's all about timing, lightning in a bottle stuff. It's all about footwork beforehand. And I think that we all put so much into it that first time. And maybe we just, you never know. Maybe we just hit it at the wrong time of year, the wrong point, whatever. And I never shut up about this book for 4 years. So maybe people just funded it so I would just shut up and just do the thing, because I was like, I made this book that was so good, but we couldn't manage to get as much as we wanted out of it. So to his merit, Brian printed copies, even though we didn't fund. He printed copies and sent them to all of us, and it's awesome. And I should mention too, it's a shared universe. So Brian has this sandbox of Grand City, sort of the same way that Marvel and DC have their sandboxes. So he has heroes that exist within the same parameters of mine. And so it's cool because we can kind of play with each other's, action figures and have each other's characters. But like Sissonne's my little sub box, and then he's got all his characters for his Grand City stuff in his box. And then we've got a couple other creators that are also in the same shared universe.
We have a Comorian King saying, come on, Netflix. And then a good question from Mama Geekly over on Facebook. Curious about your major in college, making comics. Just wondering if it might have been a far cry from comics. So like what you went to school for originally compared to what you're doing now.
So I went to school for communications, mainly journalism type stuff. So not,
it's like perfect,
that much different, right? One of my senior projects was actually I had to do a newspaper layout because it was very journalism heavy. And so I made a faux Daily Bugle cover. That was one of my final projects. I was the guy that wanted pictures of Spider-Man. So I set that up, and I had a minor in studio art. So even though I don't do anything artistic beyond the file formatting and things like that, technical stuff, I did do some things in like 3D animation and some things like that, but I mean that was literally 20 years ago, so I'd probably be hard pressed to do anything now. But I did have kind of a creative and writing background, so
Hmm.
it's sort of not exactly the same.
So, how much of this story can we talk about? Like what's spoil and what's not spoilable?
I mean, like I think through all the interviews I've done and the things I've talked about, we can get up to the point where Mark's identity gets completely blown out, and his girlfriend leaves him,
Hmm.
and the whole story is him trying to get her back. So that's pretty much where it is, and he finds himself at odds with villains in more ways than one, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and I thought it was such an interesting way to kind of just have it start out with him in the middle of a fight, and then his girlfriend's like calling out his secret identity, like yo Mark, like, and he's like, come on, like what are you doing right now, like. So what was some of your direction to kind of have the comic start off in this sense?
Well, it's a friend of mine and fellow comic maker Dirk Manning is a big influence on the way that I write, I feel like.
Hmm.
And one of the things he said to me that I've always taken to heart, and I even do this in my prose writing as well, is you start in as far into the action as you can. Like, I mean, their exposition is great, and if you want to tell a story and do a slow burn, that's fine. But to me, to borrow a term from Sum 51, it's all killer, no filler, and
Hmm.
that's the way that I try and tell my stories. It's like we get in there in the action. When the action's over, we get out. So and I do a lot of prose writing for short stories. So that's kind of where my mind is when I write. I try to kind of I give you all the meat, just the big meat sandwich, and then we cut out all the fat stuff on the sides. So that's kind of why it starts so far in. Like, do you really need to know what his origin is for this to work? Not really. Do you really need to know the background of their relationship for this to work? Not really. Everything is established in that first page where action's already happening.
Hmm. And I just loved how you layered on, like, throughout the following pages, like effectively like how much of like kind of a loser he is. Like he's not the best superhero out there. He's not the best in his relationship. Really, the only thing he has going for him is that he keeps going. He keeps doing it. He keeps trying. I mean, even just what the previous week, he like shot himself in his foot trying to stop a bank robbery. So like this man is definitely having some troubles. Why put him through all these trials and tribulations?
Well, I mean, again, it ties back to that everyman aspect, because I think everyone can relate to, I'm doing the best I can, and
Hmm.
I'm going to screw it up. And, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to stick it out, even if it doesn't work. And that's what he's trying to do. Cause like, I mean, he has a day job. He has the stuff he wants to do. And maybe it's a little self-reflective, because, he has his day job, but then the stuff he really wants to do, like me making comics, he's trying really as hard as he can on the side. He might make some mistakes, but he's going to do the best that he can.
Oh, and that interaction with his boss, that was just like a chef kiss too. I won't spoil much anymore, but it was so humorous. I think right now would be a perfect segue. Let's go ahead and switch over to the campaign and see what all the hype is about. So right here is the link for everyone that is watching. Be sure to check this out with us. If you are able to back, we would love to see that. Part of these proceeds go to an awesome charity. Hold on one second right here. So a cover for a cause. We aren't doing a special spicy cover just for laughs. $2 from every spicy cover and $10 from every spicy bundle will be donated to the Trevor Project. So an awesome cause. We're here right now talking about Sissonne cheesecake for charity variant. Currently at $40 of a $400 goal with 4 contributors and 20 days left to go. So 10% of goal. And right here are the 2 covers in question. I love it. So cheesecake, is that the joke, like on the term, or do you love cheesecake yourself?
Oh, well, it's kind of an industry term in comics, is to call kind of fan service stuff cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of fluffy, and kind of stuff. It's just that's the term for those type of covers. And I do want to point out, this is actually a double cover. So what you're going to get is the expectation versus reality. So one side has the reality of eating pizza, just hanging out on the bed, and then the expectation on the back is like the Fabio kind of really high art style. What we wish life was like. We were
Mm-hmm.
just hanging out.
And
I should also mention that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do want to mention that even though this cover itself is cheeky, the book itself proper is PG-13, so it's not like a highly sexual book or anything. It's just we wanted to do kind of a cheeky cover for a cause.
So I know he's looking at some comics. Are those actual comics from the community? I remember. I think that you're good at tying stuff in like that. So what's he looking at?
That's actually Weird Diamond. They're another one of my oldest friends as far as Twitter goes. They're another one of the Global Comics Group people. They're kind of an art collective, and they do a lot of really cool books. This is actually from their Halloween special, which I'm a horror writer on the side. So,
Anthony just contributed $21. Let's go! Shout out to
thank you,
Anthony.
But yeah, I'm a horror writer kind of by nature. This along with comedy stuff. So I asked them if I could use their Halloween stuff in there as just kind of like a nod to the community, and also Global Comics, since they're kind of where I've gotten a lot of support from as well.
Oh, that's so awesome. So let's go ahead and scroll down and check out some of these tiers. So we have the spicy cover for a cause, $15. And then we have the spicy cover for a cause without a logo, so $25 for that one. Yep. We have early bird digital. So is this still selling, or is this?
Yeah, these are still available. Yeah, so it's $2. Normally it's $5 on Global Comics, but we're doing $2 digitals.
Wow.
For a limited number of early birds.
That's awesome.
So it's like 28 pages for $2.
No, that's one bang for your buck. We have a Comorian King saying get it funded, and we have issues. I wish I could give more, but my son's birthday is on Tuesday. Let's freaking go. Hey, happy birthday to your son. Thank you. We always appreciate it. And then we have the early bird issue 1 special edition for $5. But make sure
that's
you.
The first printing. That's the deluxe.
Oh, dude! Producer Sean just contributed 130. Holy shit!
Holy crap, Sean! Thank you, dude.
Yeah, dude, Sean. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. The digital copy of issue 1 for $3, and then the special edition physical for $8. So what's the special edition about?
Well, the special edition was when we decided to give it one more go. I didn't want to. Initially, it was $8 for the book, and it was 24 pages. And so when I got the rights back, I actually packed in some extras. So I packed in an additional 4 pages, and actually ramped the price down $1 for our last one. Now, since this is all printed, the special edition's kind of going out of print because we don't have as many left because we sold through most of them. So we're doing the last of the special editions. And then past this, we're going to have to do a reprint, but the reprint won't include all the deluxe stuff. We're just going to go down to the standard 24 pages. So pretty much everything you're looking at this is everything I printed. This is what I have left. I have a small amount for future Kickstarters that I set aside, but I did a very low print run. So, I mean, I was literally thumbing through the long boxes after I got everything bagged and boarded to figure out how much we could do, like how many we could spare for this project for the people that maybe didn't get them on the first run through. And this is very much like, I hate to like use FOMO as the crowbar, but this is pretty much when they're gone, they're gone. If we have to reprint these in any way, they're going to be minus the deluxe pages.
Yeah. So no, that is awesome. Then we have some awesome extra merchandise. So a 5-inch acrylic standee for $10. This thing is awesome. Oh my god! I bet. Did you geek out when you seen it? Here, hold on. Let me enlarge you.
We got him right here. Yeah.
Oh, those things are so cool.
Oh, dude, they're sick. They're so cool. And we've only got a few of them as well. This another thing that's in very limited supply.
Yeah, that is awesome. And then some more variant covers. So we have the Save Sissonne Shiro variant.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Shiro has been instrumental in doing this as well. Incredible artist. She actually did that cover, which is Amazing Spider-Man 33, which is one of my favorite comic covers. You know, the "Come on, Spider-Man" moment from the new movies. But this really was like this was our "Come on, Spider-Man" moment. And this was like, if Sissonne doesn't fund, then I'm not going to be able to make any more books. So I was like, let's do a cover like that shows the immediacy. So he's actually got the cover of the books floating by him, and this is you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So we've got this one, which is Amazing Spider-Man 33, And then we have Silver Surfer #4 is the next parody that we did, which that classic cover, normally that would be Silver Surfer and Thor, but it's our villain, the Rexecutioner in Sissonne, and that's by original series artist Reynaldo Lacey, with the colors done by Shiro. And Shiro also, a special shout out to how great she is at making comics look vintage. She's the one that applies that vintage coat of paint to those last two covers, and it just looks super dope.
We have issues. Sean's a freaking hero, and then this is so freaking rad. I love it. Kimori and King standees are awesome. Yes, the standees are gorgeous. Action figure variant. So this is really cool too. A variant cover that makes it look like an action figure.
Yeah, I love that. Marvel does those all the time, and I think those are so sick. So I tapped my buddy David Jackson, who also did the art for the standee, to do an action figure cover.
And then right here, the spot foil variant. This is gorgeous. I love this one.
Oh yeah, that one's super, super beautiful. And again, another spoof for Akira. I love like paying homage to stuff that influenced me.
And then we have the Sissonne catch-up cover bundle. So for $75, only 3 available on that one.
When I say limited, I mean limited, single digit, dude.
And then the whole package cover bundle. So give us what this is about. This seems like it's everything in the kitchen sink.
That is all the things. So that's going to be all the legacy covers. That's going to be both with and without the logo covers. It's going to include an acrylic standee and also the stretch goal rewards from the previous campaign. So like if you want to be like, I have all the things, that's the all the things tier. That's every one of all the things. And
then here's a look at some of those legacy covers.
That, oh yeah, there's a better picture of the covers. This stuff is all already printed. So the only thing that you're waiting on is for us to print the new cover. And it's set up as keep everything as far as the fundraising goes. So even if we don't fund enough to print those new covers, I can deliver on any reward that people back. So anything that doesn't include a cheeky cover, we can fulfill all of that stuff.
These standees are so awesome. Here's a look at the stretch goals as well. Speaking of Kimori and King, we have this awesome mini print right here. Once everything hits $500, so another gorgeous print by Kimori and King. I just love the hair. The hair is so gorgeous.
Oh, nailed it. This is gorgeous. I was trying to like contain my excitement for us to get down to this part. So I know you've interviewed Cam before. She is very good at drawing very attractive men, which you know. Mark is not a super attractive man, so I need you to take where he's at and then turn the dial all the way up and then break the dial off and then throw the dial over your shoulder and keep going. And so that's what she did. She did this whole like Fabio style, just hyper hot dude cover. And there's actually an even spicier one that she's done if we hit a higher stretch goal. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully be able to do some of these mini prints as well, because that is just absolutely gorgeous.
Maybe it's Mark, maybe it's Maybelline.
That's what it's like. Very hair toss.
So we have producer Sean, the action figure variant. So cool. I agree. Kimori and King saying iconic. Yes, absolutely. So guys, once again, right here is the link. Be sure to check out this awesome campaign. If you're able to back, we would love to see that, because every cheesecake cover that you get is a cover for a cause. It's $2 from every spicy cover and $10 from every spicy bundle donated to the Trevor Project. So if you're unable to back it, simply spreading the word. Put this on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. And this is probably one of the greatest causes that we help, showcase on here. I mean, this is actual charity work that's happening, so we love to see that. That's awesome, Lee. Thank you so much.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. I would like to say also, like, if you go to the crowdfunder and you look at it and you're like, this, okay, it's not for me. Scroll to the bottom. There's a direct donation link for the Trevor Project. So if you don't like anything I've told you today, nothing I'm doing sounds good, please consider just going down to the donation link and still just making a direct donation if you can.
We have producer Sean. Absolutely love that Trevor Project is benefiting from this. I 100% agree. I think it's an awesome cause, and it's awesome that you're doing this. And I hope to see more things in the community happen of this nature. So with that being said, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them to kind of help push them over that bump?
As far as making comics goes?
Well, just backing your campaign.
Oh, backing the campaign. Sorry, I thought you said as if they were on the fence about making comics. So if you're thinking maybe you want it, here's the stuff that's my selling point for this book. It's something it's fun for everybody. It's like The Tick. It's funny. It's light. It's sort of like Knocked Up meets Kick-Ass. You know, very like it's very escapist, I guess, is what I would call it. You know, it's not heavy stuff. It's fun. It's light. And it's, you know, it's a little bit cheeky, but we keep it relatively PG-13 is what I tell everybody. So if you're looking for something that's you can, you know, kind of enjoy without having to think too much about anything going on, this is what it is.
No, that is awesome. And I think you gave me the perfect segue, because right now is it is a segue for me to ask a little bit of advice for anyone who might be new watching, or maybe even a little bit older and just having trouble getting started back again. So with that being said, for anyone who is having trouble getting motivated just to get started with their project, whether it's the art or the writing or anything in between, what advice would you offer them just to help them get that spark reignited again?
I think the main advice I can give is just don't give up. You know, I've been trying to make comics in some aspect or another, like I said, since the early 2000s, and some things work so well, some things don't work so well. And you learn a lot more from losing than you do from winning. So I think that if you have had a situation where you don't feel like you've won, use that as a teachable moment for yourself. You know, figure out what didn't work in that situation and try and adjust it accordingly. One thing I always tell people is start small. You might have written a 600 issue story arc when you were in high school, and you've been polishing it ever since. Shelf it for right now. I mean, it's probably, I'll bet it's great, dude. I'll bet it's awesome. But right now, if you want to sell books, I think one of the best things you can do is make something that you can sell immediately. So say, hey, I made this thing. Here it is. You don't have to worry about 10,000 issues down the line. This is a complete story. And it's also like for your investment purposes as well, because if you make that and it doesn't work the way you thought it would, or it doesn't sell how you would like it, you're invested into this one idea. And it also, I'm a guy who always has a lot of irons in the fire. So I'm always looking at an opportunity to be like, okay, so we made this, but I really want to make this too. So when you start small, it kind of lets you bounce around to different things and also see what you like as well. You know, I started with horror, and I love horror, but I write my horror stuff in such a way that it's compartmentalized, and then I can have my comedy stuff over here. And you know, I'd love to write a long running Sissonne series, and you know, hopefully we will someday. But it's nice to be able to say, here's a complete thing. You know, I can throw that in once we get all our issues done. We can throw it into a trade, and it's just it helps kind of marketability to tell people, you know, nothing is for sure in comics. You never know, like if I might not get to that issue 600 payoff, as awesome as it is. So if I can tell you a story in one issue, then that's, then I've done a good job, and I've given you something. A lot of those old Tick comics that I love so much, just like the cartoon, they're self-contained stories. So I think if you can tell a story in 24 pages, then you can definitely tell your 600 issue story arc. So start small, think big. That's what I tell people.
Let's go. And we have Cam saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I absolutely agree on both fronts. Mama Geekly, love your advice. Stay safe and don't give up. Good luck with everything. Really down to earth, and she likes that. Absolutely. We are ending the stream at 44% funded right now. So congratulations on the leaps and bounds, Lee. Everyone in Stream That Back, thank you guys so much for funding such an awesome cause. I hope everyone watching has a fantastic evening. Right there is the link. Check it out one more time. And if you're unable to back, simply put this wherever you can. Always greatly appreciated. Hope you all have a fantastic time. But most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.